Russian-born human rights activist Vladimir Osechkin answered the question of whether it could be that Russia is preparing a carrot for the new US president. They are preparing a train of carrots. What are they ready to do, and how are they ready to appease both Trump and his inner circle? They are ready to give in on many positions, but not on the most important thing today. Not in the situation of war with Ukraine, with an attempt to seize Ukraine and control over the territory of Ukraine. The human rights activist explained what is most important for Putin now. Here, for Putin, it is fundamental. This is his geopolitical history. He wants to go down in textbooks with this as a historical maniac. It is important to him that everyone has already come to terms with the annexation of Crimea. It is very important for him to stake out at least a land route to Crimea through the occupied territories, so here they will be ready for many concessions in various directions, including, I will not be surprised if Putin eventually gives up his current allies, North Korea and Iran. I won't be surprised if at some point they distance themselves from China. In this case, for Putin, it's simply a matter of life and death, the issue of war with Ukraine. He understands perfectly well that if tomorrow he returns this entire armada to Russia, then an armed rebellion will occur in version 2.0 and he will simply be demolished. Vladimir Osechkin concluded. Recall on the 28th of December, Russian ruler Vladimir Putin signed a series of laws that toughened penalties for armed rebellion and crimes against military service, and approved a new strategy to counter extremism, which lists the elimination of threats emanating from Ukraine as one of its main tasks. One of the signed laws toughens the punishment for armed rebellion up to life imprisonment. The lower limit of the sentence for rebellion has increased from 15 to 20 years. The same law excludes the right to parole for those sentenced to life for terrorism and rebellion. It also introduces a sentence of up to 15 years for foreigners for aiding the enemy. The criminal code of the Russian Federation was also amended to make members of volunteer formations liable for disobeying orders, resisting a superior, leaving a unit or place of service without permission, desertion, voluntary surrender, and other crimes committed by the military. Another law in Russia has also expanded the list of grounds for including people in the list of extremists.
As he did during his first administration, Trump is pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization. He also ordered a comprehensive review of U.S. foreign aid spending. Both moves fit into his more isolationist, America First, approach to international affairs. According to Associated Press, it was the second time in less than 5 years that he's ordered the country to withdraw from the organization, despite it being a move many scientists fear could roll back decades-long gains made in fighting infectious diseases like AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. Experts also warn it could weaken the world's defenses against dangerous new outbreaks capable of triggering pandemics. Trump is easing regulatory burdens on oil and natural gas production, something he promises will bring down costs of all consumer goods. Trump is specifically targeting Alaska for expanded fossil fuel production. On trade, the president said he expects to impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting February 1st, but declined to flesh out his plans for taxing Chinese imports.
Efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes in the way the Biden had set up.
So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens. Pretty sad though, think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. and China's a bigger country.
The tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that the European Union has like a part of BRICS?
That it what? We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas. And they should do that. Essentially, all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing, in a way, that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. Sure, I do, but not when.